Okay, so not very often we actually do a lot on amplifiers, and I thought, well, we've got a absolutely superb, brand new. This is absolutely brand new ACOM 1000. This is HF and 6 meters. This is the new design where they did these nice. Don't mind, I've been painting, by the way, just in case you look at my hands. Thank you, Riley, for putting your head through a gyprock wall, so I had to replace 2 bits of gyprock anyway, and paint it all and flush it. Okay, back to the amplifier and my fingers. This is the new front, and I do like the new front. Actually, it's really something that I've taken a great liking to, and I do also like the new meters. This new display just really pops at you, and as you go through, reflected power, output power, antenna VSWR, drive, dB gain, plate current, high voltage, peak string current, DC power input, even keep an eye on the exhaust temperatures, etc., and ready status, etc. So pretty much the thing about the this is all tuned at the moment, but if I was to go into carrier and put a little bit of tune into it, this here will actually indicate left to right as to my load, which way to go. So it's really intuitive. Now if I just, hang on, just thinking, turn some current down, sorry, and I'm just putting a bit of carrier in. So as you can see there, see how that little nodule there wants to come a little bit over, and I've taken it from there, and I've gone 1, 2, 3, and bang, up, little touchy little thing, isn't it? There we go. Oh, it was there. Okay, so there we go. So basically I'm putting in a few watts into on 28370, and let's just have a little bit of a look into our forward power, and that is quite a lot of forward power. Okay, let's just turn that down a bit. I think we can, for this illustration, much better. There's forward power of 300 watts coming off of, in input power of drive of 18 watts. Okay, so basically 18 watts gives us 273. It was 300 before. Cheat. See if it changes there. 300, right, it's okay. So basically 300 watts, not bad. Now I'm just going to go to sideband. Oh, let's have a look here. And I'm on a 950 SDX, so a little bit careful. Now this amplifier here will tell me straight away. If I go trying to romp in with, 150 watts, this thing will just go click and say, go try again. So that's the good news. But let's have a look at our torque power. 1, 2. Oh, bring that over here. 1, 2. Oh, be good if I turn that level up here. Okay. Oh, hang on. My apologies. I just realised I turned the processor down on this by mistake. And I thought, why have I got no drive? I thought, well, that's pretty good. I've blown up the amp already. No, not really. All right, so let's have a look. On dummy load. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay, now that is excessive. Too much drive. It's okay. It can take it, but you wouldn't like to run it at that all the time. Let's just knock that back a bit. We've got way too much drive there. And let's just put, oh no, 1, 2. Oh, let's get that one. That's better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a bit peaky on this. That's my processor doing that at the moment. And I'd probably do better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, hello, hello. Microphone's a little way away. Anyway, you're getting the idea. Keep in mind, if your processor clips a bit like mine is right there, will look a bit peaky, and that's certainly... okay, so a couple of comments. This is a 4CX800. This is not 2 4CX800s. So expecting it to run 1200 watts all day long is unwise. The meter goes up to 1200, doesn't necessarily mean you need to run it at 1200. So ideally, look, let's say that you're a New Zealander, because we can't talk about Australians having more than 400 watts, because that's just insane, bloody insane apparently, but anyway. But anyway, if we were smart like New Zealand and we were given 1,000 watts, or like the US and given 1,500 watts, this amplifier would be very, very useful. So in theory, if you're an Australian, you buy one of these amplifiers, it'll never go over 40% of its power, if it's rated at, say, a kilowatt. Anyway, we all know the joke there. And what can I say? Welcome to Australia. People have asked me, what is your view on the 1 kilowatt license? And I was very revved up about trying to, especially after the trial, trying to get some sort of re-look at it. I'm convinced now we are hitting our heads against a brick wall. Nobody's listening. I've heard the arguments from Wireless Institute, the other group, RASA, everybody. And honestly, I give up. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. There's nothing in my binoculars looking at all the scopes of paperwork and stuff that I'm seeing that even remotely suggests that we're going to unfortunately get to use this type of amplifier or larger amps to their full capabilities, which is a real pity. It really is, because they're beautiful amps, they really are, But anyway, but not to say that you can't run it at 400 watts or or so. So there's been a lot of controversy lately over power. Personally, I don't care. I just don't anymore. I've got to that stage where I know this sounds terrible. It's not that I'm belligerent. It's just I don't care. I think if someone wants to go out there and run 2,000 watts, good luck to you. I'm pretty sure it's not changing the signal level dramatically over the person running 1,000 watts. But you want to run 2,000 watts, run 2,000 watts. If you want to run 100 watts, and fantastic. I've just got to that stage where I think everybody's got a point of view. I don't think we should religiously have to run 400 watts, by the way, but I also think that running 2,000 watts every day is excessive. So, somewhere, I'd probably fit in the middle somewhere of, there needs to be some common sense and maybe some decent antennas built sometimes, versus just big amps. But that being said, the beauty of these amps, love them. They really are very nice. Might just give you a quick look at the back though. Okay, this is good, getting us off the subject of 400 watts or not. Okay, as you can see, they've got a key in, which basically is just a grounded jack. So basically, it comes off the TS950 SDX, comes off the multi-pin connector there, bang, over here. Then obviously you can continue on switching things if you want to from here. So that's just a throughput that carries through. So you've got RF in coming from the 950, over here, and RF out going off to the dummy load over here. A lot of people confuse this on the 1000s with a fan. No, this is not. This is actually just some venting for the transformer. So whether it's knocked in or knocked out or anything, don't worry about it. It's just there for looks. And behind that is the rather large transformer that takes up to about here. It's huge. You do have a line off connection here, twin fuse over here as well, and ground here, which for setting up if you're going to do a more permanent than my test bench, certainly quite a good idea. We've had the covers off this one and had a really good look through it. I'm really sorry I didn't leave them off so I could show you through it. It was just bad timing, but let me assure you they're beautiful inside, and whether you're an ACOM like a new amplifier owner or you've got one of the older ones, honestly, great amps. I really don't have a bias. Alright, so we're back on the video and we're just sort of peeking away a little bit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Luckily we're on a dummy load. Oh, see that spike from that. Oh, doesn't like that processor. Yeah, see how I'm just spiking a bit there. Need to turn that mic gain down. Alright, well that's a bit of fun, isn't it? But let's face it, don't do that to your amplifier too often, please. Do as I say, not as I do. But lovely. Sorry, the other button, operate, obviously, so you can put it in the standby mode, bang, etc, etc. So ACOM 1000, difference between the ACOM 1000 and the ACOM 2000, you do manually switch and you do manually set your tune and load. ACOM 2000, you blow into the microphone for a split second and it's tuned and done. So if you're lazy like me, get the ACOM 2000. If you're sometimes up for a bit of a challenge, well, I've got the 1000 and the 1500 as well. So, depending on your level of what you're after. Truly Lazy 2000, 1500, nice because you're getting a bit more power. And the ACOM 1000, the all-round good guy. I think this is the general purpose amp everyone should own. Beautiful amp. So and priced pretty well too. So the ACOM 1000 is something that's you're not going to have to mortgage the house. Where the 2000 you may have to take a small mortgage. 1500 not so bad. But the 1000 definitely price point. Yep, they've got that right. We'd all love it to be less. I know. I agree. Everyone wants something for less, but unfortunately not. The Euro is going to dictate certain things. But for a 4CX 800 amp that does HF and 6 meters, and remember that, and 6 meters, I really think that's a great selling point of the ACOM 1000. Keep in mind the ACOM 1500 still does 6 meters. The ACOM 2000 does not do 6 meters. Very common misapprehension that the 2000 does 6 meters. We've been asked a number of times, is there going to be a 2000 version that does 6 meters? My answer to that is, if there was going to be, it would have come out when they revamped the 2000 recently, when they revamped the 1000. So I'm sorry. Yes. And typically this is why I have the 1500 actually set up on my Kenwood TS990, because I've got a ACOM 2000 on an IC7850, then I've got an ACOM 1500 sitting on a 990, and then I've got a general purpose 1000. Unfortunately, the older version, not the flashy front, the more common, sort of version front, but I can live with that. All right, guys, 73s, all the best from VK3 Charlie Mike. Not much point giving you a CB radio call sign on this video. I think that might say some really bad things about let's just go with VK3CM for this one, or VK5BM in South Australia, my old home call. 73s all. Please subscribe. Thanks very much for a lot of the comments, really appreciate it, and we're loving having a bit of a play, just showing you a few bits and pieces, as basic and sort of primal as it is. Hope you're enjoying it. Cheers.